Hello and welcome to the Dominion Daily for October 1st, 2025. We've got Rising Sun and Adventures today, and 3 landscapes. So, let's see, Trashing is Rice Broker and Tanuki. Draw is Magpie, Poet, Hireling, Warrior, and then Rice Broker. Specifically trashing actions. Plus actions is Champion. So we're gonna go from no terminal space to all the terminal space. That doesn't actually look like a huge problem here. Because I don't really anticipate caring too much about duplicate in the early game, at least, and then other than that, like Tanuki, maybe Hireling. I mean, I'm sure we'll want to play with Tanuki. Hireling would potentially be another terminal to play with, but anyway, and gains wise, so yeah, Tanuki, Rice for plus buy, Messenger for plus buy, although the terminal space thing means we won't want that in the early going. Treasure Trove just gives you more stuff, which could be relevant. You do have Rice Broker, so you could like Rice Broker the coppers and then Tanuki the golds kind of thing. Receive tribute. Oh, I guess there's a world where early in the game you activate multiple magpies, and then you can buy receive tribute and get several things off of that. Short of that, or like one magpie and Tanuki something. I think that's the most likely scenario for it. I mean, I guess Treasure Trove also gets you there. Now that I think about it, or almost gets you there. You have to have or you have to have gained at least 3 things. So if you can like, yeah, okay. Now that I'm thinking about it, for some reason I was thinking 2, and then but no. So yeah, Magpie. It's pretty unlikely that you're going to get 3 magpies in a turn early enough for that to matter. 2 magpies plus a Tanuki trash, maybe. I mean, obviously, if you have enough plus buy, you could just do it that way. But that's a lot to ask early enough for it to matter. Treasure Trove, like, if you did get that early and then gain, like played a Tanuki or gained 1 magpie, that would work, but I don't really think you're going to want Treasure Trove early. So I don't know. It's conceivable that Receive Tribute could come up, but probably going to require some luck. Anyway. And then, so we've got progress. Progress encourages building more because you got to top deck your green. Once that's active and you start greening. So, yeah, it leans a little bit in the direction of building bigger. And of course, like top decking the components for building is good. And then credit, so we can open kind of with whatever, although the ideal way to open with whatever would be a 2-5, and we're pretty far from having that. But maybe it doesn't matter, because what we want is, maybe we just want a magpie. I mean, credit for Tanuki could definitely be what we want if we had like a 3-4, and then you Tanuki into the magpies. But we don't have that. One other thing I should look at is Rice. And this is maybe a reason to play with at least 1 Hireling, is because this is the only duration card. So you get... Oh, no. Champion. Yeah, Champion by itself will give you the duration. So you don't necessarily need Hireling on top of that. You want a second page if you want to get the Traveler thing going. Calling a duplicate every turn seems like a lot of work, but that would give you another one. So yeah, action, duration, Traveler, Treasure, Poet gives you Omen, And then Tanuki gives you Shadow, so it can be worth as much as 6. Oh, also attack. There's no attacks in the regular kingdom. There's just warriors. So I guess having the second page specifically get to warrior also boosts rice. So that would get you to 7 coin rice, which is nearly a province per rice. So there's your kind of like build big thing, is like or like a way to do it anyway. It would be to get a bunch of rice and then just buy a bunch of provinces. On the other hand, there is also Tanuki, as mentioned, which can gain a bunch of provinces as well. Like once you get the champion down, you can play a bunch of Tanukis. So that's another thing to consider. Gaining Tanukis later in the game when progress is active will actually not be great, though, because you'll have to top deck them, and you don't want to do that. There's also something else I missed earlier, talking about gains. The page line has gains with treasures, and I was talking about treasure trove and using treasure trove to feed Tanuki. You'd also just get a hero that's slower to acquire, but doesn't come with the coppers. So I guess there's an argument for getting as many as 3 pages, specifically with the idea being like 1 champion, 1 hero for guild gaining, and 1 warrior to power up rice, and it's draw too, which is nice. So overall, yeah, there's some options here. I'm not entirely sure like which direction to go. I mean, I am confident, like, we'll want to get a page, we'll want to get a Tanuki, we'll want to get a rice broker, we'll want to get magpies. But in terms of like a faster, like more aggressive provincing strategy versus building bigger, whether we end up trying to optimize for the rice stuff or whether we just do like Tanuki stuff, that's what I'm not entirely sure about. I guess my instinct is that like the Tanuki treasure trove thing will be fast enough. There's no alt VP that like building really big is going to have trouble beating that. But that strategy does need like to really go fast. The strategy still does need to get a champion down. Otherwise, you're only playing 1 Tanuki per turn. And yeah, I mean, maybe that's enough, right? Like if you can hit 2 provinces a turn, or even a province and mill a province per turn from like relatively early. All right, well, as far as opening goes, we definitely want to get a page going. So I think there's 2 potential ways to go here. One is magpie page, and one is page credit. I think like as I said, I would be a lot more inclined towards page credit if I had a 3-4. If I had a 2-5, it would just be like page Tanuki or page rice broker. Probably page Tanuki. But rice broker is gonna maybe do a little bit more to accelerate the page line, but I think Tanuki does enough, and then turning the estates into useful cards, maybe that actually does do more by the time you get through a couple shuffles. A little hard to say. But as it is, I think it makes more sense to just go for the magpie, and then we can credit for a 5 later if we don't hit 5. No, see, that's just too good. You shouldn't be allowed to have a 5-2. I don't. Not on this board. Okay, so yeah, this is the situation where we should at least consider, if we credit Tanuki now, we're assuming we see our magpie will trigger a shuffle and we'll be able to play it immediately. I think that's got to be worth the extra money. Oh, we didn't. Jesus. Well, I swear, like, recently, I have bottom decked opening buys so often. Ugh. That's, like, it was the other day when I opened. It was like 3 games in a row, like, because I lost the first 2, opening, like, a mass bridge troll and bottom decked it every time. Man. Okay, at least we don't have to take multiple silvers. And we got a magpie. Wait, we... Oh, we only have 4 coins! We could receive tribute. Damn it! I mean, I guess maybe there was no way... If we gotten multiple silvers... But maybe, like, other than, like, with only gaining 1 silver, maybe there was no way to do it. Because like, if the magpie had revealed a copper and drawn it, obviously, then we wouldn't have the... Well, no, if this estate was a copper, then we wouldn't get to gain a 4, but... Yeah... Man. Alright, so we have 2 magpies. I think we probably just go double poet. We'll take another page off of Tanuki-ing a copper. I don't think there's so much urgency to that. Oh man, like we'd be able to get... How's this that you don't have copies of in place? So we'd be able to go like Rice Broker, Hireling, Poet or something. Would actually be really nice. We could credit for a Rice Broker, although we just have nothing down there but starting cards. 4 coppers and 2 estates. That's probably a good reason to credit for a Rice Broker, because we're not going to get anything exciting there anyway. And of course, just see... Well, I guess actually this is fine. I was thinking ahead when we're dead. Never mind. They do get the treasure trove. I'm guessing that means the bot's going for the faster provincing line. All right. Poet. I don't actually know between Poet and Magpie which is like better to have in our deck. In the long run, I mean. Right now, Poet should be a little bit better at drawing, but Magpie can duplicate itself, so... We just split the difference, of course. Take 1 of each. Could also credit for something... I don't feel great about that at this point. Like, legitimately, we could still end up doing a receive tribute. Although, we're going to play our warrior next turn, so probably not. But the turn after, maybe. I think I'm going to take a magpie. Oh, they just Tanuki'd the treasure trove. Okay. Jesus, that's a lot of gains. 2 magpies, 2 silvers from a treasure hunter. Rice broker. Well, the warrior's in exchange, but damn. All right, in theory, you should know. I know we just saw like multiple coppers in estates last turn. Would we rather the magpie multiply itself or find a treasure? Probably multiply itself. So I think we'd start with this. Well, okay then. We should be able to receive tribute. We're gonna end up with Tanuki in our hand for next turn, which is annoying. But wait, no, never mind. We didn't activate that many magpies. What am I talking about? We can't receive tribute. I was thinking, oh, all these magpies, but they all saw coppers. I guess one of them saw the rice broker. Okay. Yeah, getting a rice would make sense, I think. It's a lot of rice brokers. Rice broker and a gold. Whoa. Alright, progress is active. You know, that's not great for this hero. I don't know who won the magpie split. I'm guessing, or if anyone did. Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm guessing it wasn't me. Well, it's annoying, but... So I was having to top deck rice, but... So it goes... So all the magpies were already gone, right? Yeah. We could messenger something if we wanted to receive tribute. Do we? What would we be able to gain? Another Tanuki and a hireling. And a duplicate or a page. That's not terrible. Messenger page, probably. Because we want another page anyway. I was planning to get it off of Tanuki, but certainly getting another Tanuki is a fine thing to do. I mean, it's a little ambitious, maybe, from the perspective that we don't actually have the champion down yet to add the hireling to the deck and the messenger. But the alternative would be like just buy a rice and a 5 or something. Probably would be another Tanuki. I think Oh, we need to think about the fact that everything's going to get top decked. Okay. Um, that. Oh man. That means we probably want to get a rice broker. Unfortunately, we can't get that through receive tribute. Hmm. Yeah, this is actually kind of brutal. Like, top decking the page is fine. If we were to messenger page, the messenger not so much. If we combined it with a rice broker, sure. Can't. Yeah, and put top decking a Tanuki on a hireling does not seem good at all. Maybe we do just go, well, rice broker rice. I mean, I don't exactly want to rice broker the rice. Shit. Wish I had a third buy. Then I'd do messenger receive tribute credit for rice broker. Oh man. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we could just do messenger rice broker and figure we can rice broker the messenger if needed. Hmm. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. The odds, like if we just stack a bunch of garbage, I mean, not garbage, but stuff on top of our deck. If it would be nice if we could top deck the champion. Unfortunately, it doesn't get gained. They just trash that page. Or page. They didn't get their champion in play. They don't have a champion. That's why they didn't play their. Oh, they did play the hero. But they didn't exchange. Interesting. All right. Well, now we have to ask the question of, do we want to Tanuki into something that we know we're going to draw with the rice broker? Like another Tanuki, for example. Like getting the Tanuki mid-turn, has a lot to recommend it. Yeah, I think I'm down for that. Magpie. All right. So this Tanuki is probably just taking like a poet or something. Could also be another page if we wanted to get that going faster. But we don't want 2 treasure hunters in our deck at the same time anyway, probably. So yeah. The other thing we could do is take a duplicate. I don't know what we'd do with it, though. Poet is not the best draw card at this point, admittedly. But it would be effective at drawing the silvers that the treasure hunter is going to gain. So there is that. Okay. So now receive tribute really isn't going to do much of anything. Again, like a hireling messenger duplicate. If we want to do another page, we can do that off of the Tanuki. It's possible that we should start greening. We do have the second Tanuki. The bot does not. We could go like Rice Broker Province page. And then like we have the option to Rice Broker the page if we want to. We could also get another rice or a treasure trove. The treasure trove is not going to give us anything to Tanuki into province until like the turn after next. Nice thing about Tanukiing into province is that you can then draw the province off the top of your deck if you've got the draw. So that's something to keep in mind, and is maybe a reason not to take a province now. We could also do messenger page again. Like we could do Rice Broker Rice messenger page, and then we have the option to just Rice Broker the messenger again. I think I like that. Yeah, so the bot did take the champion now, but it also just top decked a Tanuki and 2 provinces. So its shuffle is looking pretty bad. It didn't play the Tanuki that it already had. So it's got another Tanuki down there. Which, I mean, I think it can play. I assume... Would I be able to see if it had the Tanuki down there? I guess I don't actually know. Huh. Anyway. Alright, is there any way we're not Rice Brokering this messenger? Like, we could Rice Broker the page. I kind of want to 1, 2, 3. They gain 4 cards, so I kind of want to save the poet for trying to draw the silvers off of Treasure Hunter. If possible. Yeah, I feel like I can just wait on greening for another turn because the bot is only going to be able to mill mostly, but isn't going to be able to like gain more provinces. And if the bot lowers to 5 provinces, would I be able to get 5 provinces? Maybe. Maybe. We Tanuki one of the silvers into another Tanuki. These piles are also quite low, actually. I don't think I'd be able to get 3 rice brokers, 2 provinces, and an estate, though. Okay, so I guess the argument for trashing the page is that we don't have, like, if we turning it into a treasure hunter if the game is ending next turn is not appealing. Should also look at, has the bot trashed any magpies? No, it has not. Played 3 rice brokers. It had us as a rice broker top deck, so it might get to trigger the shuffle off of like rice brokering and magpie. It still can't, unless it draws into the champion. It still can't do that much. But I guess there is a world where it like triggers the shuffle off of rice broker and then. Wait, actually, top deck to rice too. Rice, Tanuki, province. So it does have that rice. It has exactly rice broker Tanuki in hand. So it'd have to rice broker the Tanuki. So yeah. The odds of it finding the champion that way are small, but not 0, presumably, because it only played 1 magpie? What happened to the rest of its magpies? Maybe it hadn't triggered a shuffle from the turn before? I don't know. Well, I think I'm going to rice broker the page. Messenger discard effect could actually be relevant here. And we maybe will just, but also maybe we'll rice broker the messenger anyway. All right. Dang it. This could actually be rough. Yeah, I guess we're rice brokering the messenger. That's fine. All right. So we can Tanuki into 2 things, then rice broker to draw them. What would we want those things to be? Could be 2 more Tanukis. Um, Should also ask, how much money are we getting here? So action, duration, omen, traveler, treasure, shadow. Yeah, everything but duplicate. I said 7, 6. So 18, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Uh-huh. Or 21 if we also Tanuki the other 2 silvers. And what would we do with all that? It is a little concerning that the piles I would most want to take stuff from are the piles that are low enough that maybe it's risky to do so. We could, I guess we could take a treasure trove and then we'd have a gold as a Tanuki target next turn, but then those would get, that stuff would get top decked. Friggin' progress. It's rough. It's definitely rough. We could also take. So what I'm thinking about is, if we want the ability to take a bunch of duchies, we go ahead and get more Tanukis, and then we also potentially want another page now that we can turn into a treasure hunter, turn this treasure hunter into a warrior. Wait, I was saying, I think I didn't count reserve when I said that rice could be worth 8 here, couldn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then attack gets to 8. Yeah, okay. So anyway, yeah, we Tanuki into page Tanuki. Rice broker. We Tanuki into another Tanuki. No, wait. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Oh, no, it is. Well, it doesn't matter. No, actually it is. Okay, yes, because I wanted to then do this and take another rice broker and have that top decked. That was, yes. That was the plan, and then I sort of forgot that it was the plan. Okay. I think having an action that rice broker can trash would be good. I don't think I want to messenger anything to the bot. Although, actually, if I messenger a stop card to the bot, like what if I messengered the bot like an estate? That's interesting. It just gets in the way. Then Rice Broker trashing Tanuki doesn't trigger a shuffle for the bot. And it can't like play the Tanuki out of its, assuming it has the Tanuki in those last 4 cards, which I'm not sure, but yeah, like it can't immediately get to the champion. I kind of like that. Whoop. All right. And I'm thinking maybe we do take 1 province and then like a couple of poets. Is that ordering going to be good? We top decked the estate, and then we top decked estate, messenger, province, poet, poet. Nah. Unfortunately, that doesn't actually help us with anything. They did find the champion. Man. Well, they still didn't get very far. Okay. I think we should be able to win from this position. Is there any way that we're rice brokering poet rather than messenger? Like, we have a lot of shit to draw through. Oh, you know, poets are low now too. We could Tanuki an estate into a poet. All right, what is? I mean, I think 4 provinces looks easier. Well, and it doesn't even need to be 4 provinces. It can be 3 provinces and mill a province. And we can do that. We have enough Tanukis and enough rice that we can do that without any money. So, yeah. Guess we should play the warrior first. In case we want a rice broker and magpie. Would we rather rice broker a magpie or a poet? I don't know. There's a world where we can set up one of them with the other, but we have the magpie in hand, so it would have to be... Wait, do we already have the win? Oh, we already have the win. Yeah. 3 races into provinces and province into province. Okay, well, then whatever. I was gonna say, the way we would set it up is we'd play one of the Tanukis to trash into something that one of them can draw. Not that that's necessarily like a good use of our Tanuki, but, you know, whatever. Found some rice brokers. Well, we've got... I really dislike how this makes it look like we have 11 cards left, but we actually only have 7. But in any case, we can do rice to province and rice to province, and now we're not drawing any Tanukis when we rice broker this rice broker. So we do that, and that, and I'm thinking probably the point maximizing thing is to Tanuki into 2 duchies, and then buy the 2 provinces with the rice. Because otherwise, if we Tanuki the rice, we lose a gain. But I'm not actually sure we hit double province off of that, now that I say that. 10, 12. The rice should be worth 6 still. Actually, it's worth 7 now because we have the warrior. So 8, 9, and then we need another 7. No, wait. This is 8, 9, 10, and then we need 3 silvers. Oh, that's exactly it. Huzzah. Okay, well, if we were doing this, we would do exchange, or if we were continuing the game, we would double exchange. So I said at the beginning I wasn't sure about like building big and trying to score all at once versus like doing a more aggressive thing, and then I said like my instinct was that the more aggressive thing would work, but actually, having played it out, I think the building bigger thing worked better. I mean, it's a little like if the bot had gotten its champion down faster with what it was trying to do, that certainly would have helped it. But I don't know. It's like it's hard to aggressively province while also like taking all those rice brokers so that you can like guarantee that you're going to draw the next turn. Progress really is a pretty brutal prophecy. Like you wouldn't expect it to be as brutal as it is, but like on a board like this, for example, like there's a bunch of cards that I would be happy to gain if I didn't have to top deck them, right? Like, you know, treasure trove or hireling or more rice or whatever. But then when I have to top deck them, I'm like, oh gosh, this is. Ugh. And so, yeah, I think that's maybe what's deceptive. Like everybody looks at this and thinks like, oh, it's good when I get to top deck my engine components, but bad when I have to top deck the green. I mean, that's true enough, but I think it's like the general having to also top deck payload that is like what tips the scales to this just generally being bad rather than good. Not that it's always bad on every board, but I do think that's what tilts the balance. And certainly here it felt a lot more like an imposition than a help. Although it is interesting because despite that being the case, like arguably, like Progress was the only like form of reliability we played with, and maybe we would have played with Hireling if it weren't for Progress. But as it was, like top decking a rice broker every turn is actually a lot of reliability as well. So you know, it sort of cuts both ways even there. Like if we didn't have Progress, we probably would have been more like significantly more likely to dud, and certainly like the stuff like taking 4 silvers off Treasure Hunter multiple turns might have been pretty questionable. Yeah, interesting stuff. Interesting board. The bot actually got completely clean on copper, which suggests to me that it was trashing copper too much with Rice Broker rather than trashing actions. Not that you like necessarily want coppers in your deck, but the bot had 6 magpies. I mean, I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of this was that I got my champion down faster, which I'm not actually sure why that was exactly, if it was just a shuffle thing or what. Like we did bottom deck our opening magpie, which like can't have helped. So they played the page here. Wait. The bot just chose not to play its treasure hunter here. What? Why? Let me see. I gained a silver, a poet, a magpie. That is 3 cards. And okay, so it would have gained 4 silvers. Okay, I guess I can understand not wanting to gain 4 silvers. I mean, I can definitely understand it. But I don't know. I don't know. Seems pretty rough to just not play it. And then didn't see it again this turn. So this is why the bot was slower to get champion. And then here, treasure hunter for 2 silvers. Okay, so it's like 2 turns slower to do that. And then here it did play the warrior and played the hero, but then it didn't exchange. And then it played hero 1 more time this next turn. That was surprising. And then it exchanged here. Yeah, that was... So... Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think you've got to take the 4 silvers there. They are, you know, good Tanuki targets for what it's worth. You can turn them into rice brokers. But I just think, like, having lost 2 turns on that and then losing another turn to not exchanging, which I'm guessing is because the bot decided that it wasn't, like, it's like, oh, I don't have time, or I need the rice more or something. You know, I need to take this more aggressive line. I'm not really sure, but and then here, I guess maybe the idea is like, well, I'm junking my deck up anyway. I'm not going to get much done, so like somehow getting champion helps. I don't really know actually what the logic is. I can't really figure an explanation for that. But yeah, either way, I think champion is important enough here that I would just take the 4 silvers and cry about it. I mean, you might lose anyway as a consequence, but yeah. In any case, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.